Hi everyone, today I wanted to do another Should I Fly It? I thought I've been a little mean to the Rebels, I've not covered them yet, so we're going to have a quick look at one of the more popular Rebel builds in the current meta, Super Dash. So it's been a thing for a while, obviously. You used to see Super Dash and Corran Horn flying around, that was pretty strong. And if you've had lots of practice with it, there's no reason to stop flying it. If you can keep Corran out of arc of the U-boats and deal with the threat of Wampa, it's still not a terrible list. You'll still do well, but one of the more popular variants now has been to replace Corran with a lawful rebel, and that's what we're going to have a look at today. So, a new iteration of Dash with the release of the lawful rebel is changing Kyle Katarn out for Kane and Juros. Um, it basically opens up your entire dial for Dash. If you perform a white move, you may remove a stress token at the end. And it doesn't just apply to Dash, it's any ship within range 2 of Kanan after it performs its move. So it really adds some maneuverability. As you can see, the YT 2400 has got near enough a perfect dial. It has all of the ones, twos, threes, and the four forwards, and then the only red being the 4K. Having that entire dial open to you does negate somewhat the donut hole. You're not forced into doing those one banks after pushing the limit. So I feel like Kanan is a better choice than Kyle now. You can outfly your opponent a lot more. And then you stick with Outrider. I always prefer HLC just because if you're going down to two ships, having that 4 dice attack is a lot more punchy. You do have a donut hole, but you just need to keep practicing with the list. And you should be getting shots every turn. It's very difficult to get all of someone's list in there, especially when we look at the other ship. It's going to be in the list. And then the modification is the engine upgrade, just to give you a full bank of repositioning. So, as we discussed, the donut hole is one of the weaknesses of this dash build, and that's where the lawful rebel comes in. Having Axia Corrector Auto Blaster Turret should dissuade people from getting in close. So if you're worried about the list you're playing being able to reposition really well, get inside your donut hole, you want to keep them together, and that way it's mutual support. No one's going to want to drop a fell or even a whisper into range 1 of dash if it's going to mean 2 guaranteed damage from a lawful rebel. Intel Agent on is basically designed to help against any higher PS like a Rear Admiral Shiranu, Han Solo, any big ships that have got repositioning as well. You want to know whereabouts are going so that you can plan dash around that. Because his pilot skill 7 is a weakness compared to the 9s of well, 8s and 9s obviously, for the other big large base repositioning turrets. And Intel Agent can counter that somewhat. It does depend on how you're going to approach your opponent, whether you want to keep them together to stop aces from dropping in, or whether you want to split them up and try and bait and switch. Hira Syndulla is, in my opinion, vital to a lawful rebel. Keeping that dial open, having that 5k open to you every turn, and the one hards. I think she's almost an auto include. But this list can do relatively well. It outputs a good amount of damage with 2 4 dice attacks. The auto blaster can be annoying to aces. Um, it it's still probably one of the stronger places for rebels to sit in the meta. It is a finesse list. You can use dash the same way against every opponent, so you just need to keep working, keep playing the list. But it is certainly not a weak list. If you're flying against this type of list, some of the things you want to look at is how your opponent deploys, if they group up, how you want to approach. If you get the chance to pile damage onto a rebel, is it going to sacrifice ships to Dash's shooting? And the exact time you need to pounce on Dash when you've got him. There's nothing wrong with piling some ranged attacks into a rebel, getting some damage onto it, and then if you can set up the situation to dart into range 1 of Dash, exchange some fire there, and then come back out again. You want to try and not go too hard with your entire list, because then Dash can dance around you, doing a hard one, barrel roll and boost, and then it's pretty hard for you to actually chase on that angle. So there's lots to consider. I feel like it does reasonably well against most things if you play it correctly, but the difficulty of flying the list comes from realizing how you need to play against those different archetypes, and how and when to pick that different play style. But something you just need to put it on the table and practice with. But if you're interested in flying, this isn't a bad build. The Intel Agent helps cover some of the weaknesses. Auto Blaster to support Dash if you're scared of the range 1 engagements. So give it a try. If you like the video, please subscribe to the channel, and feel free to leave some comments. If you prefer Kyle Katarn, let me know and how you've done with him. Also, if you still think Corran Horn's a better support ship, put that in there as well. Let's get a bit of a discussion going. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon.